If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos.
Aloha, our keto friends. We are going to show you how to make the protein sparing bread. I'm going to tell you all my tips and tricks because I know a lot of you have tried it and you're like, it tastes like it's like styrofoam or it falls. Well, these are the top 10 tips. Number 1, watch my original YouTube video making it, okay? We'll have the link below, but that is gonna show you technique. I would do it today, but it's gonna make a lot of noise and I just wanna talk to you. So that's step number 1. Number 2, yes, you can use these whites. This is just egg whites, it's the only ingredient. However, it doesn't whip as well. I've made this for the past 15 years and I can use the fake whites, or they're real whites, but let me tell you, if you use this, use 4 real egg whites. Crack the whites into there, save the yolks for hollandaise. My homemade ice cream is really good. You could make mayo with them, but use 4 real egg whites because that is going to help stabilize the whites. Now, all I use is pure eggs and my egg white powder. Yes, I have a huge bag because guess what? We're making an egg white powder. Ooh. We're having it, our own Maria Emmerich egg white protein powder. But anyway, if you want, there's a couple different variations you could do, which I'll cover in a little bit. But number 3 is whip the heck out of them. Everybody under whips the whites. You will not over whip them. You will not over whip them. Something you can do is add cream of tartar, which will help stabilize the whites. Okay, add like a teaspoon of that. Don't use protein powders that have fat in them because fat causes the whites to fall. Okay, so my brand is the best brand. Do not touch the whites with a drop of water. If this just came out of the dishwasher or the sink and has water in it, the whites won't whip. If your spatula that you dig it out has a drop of water on it, the whites will fall. If your bread pan has water in it, that will cause it to fall, okay? So be very, very careful to not have any water touch them. Number 6 is don't make it on a humid day. That kind of goes with number 5. Water will cause the whites to fall. I make it in Hawaii just fine, right?
Yeah.
But I try to make sure that the doors are closed and we have the AC on and make it before the heat of the day and the humidity, okay? Number 7 is leave it in the oven for about 15 minutes after it's done baking. That will help it to not shrink, okay? And number 8 is slice it the next day when it's completely cool or later in the day after it's completely cool. I let it cool on the counter. Or if for some reason it falls all the time, it might be your brand of egg white protein powder, so try to add 1/4 cup more. And number 10 is if you whip the whites to heck, and then you're adding the protein powder. If you over whip the protein powder or over whip the whites after the protein powder has been added, that will cause it to be like styrofoam and very dry, not very good. Or if you add too much of it, would cause it to be styrofoamish. So those are my top 10 tips. Now, if you want to make like them into buns, like I have here, I keep these in the freezer. They have a little bit of freezer burn on it. So if you want to make hamburger buns, I just keep them in a Ziploc. Then you're going to put a piece of parchment onto a baking sheet and spray it lightly with like avocado oil spray, and then dollop them onto here. The baking time will be less. It's about 15 to 20 minutes. But I have about 4 loaves of the bread in the freezer at all times because it's just easy to take with me when I travel for an easy sandwich. But the variations, I'm a minimalist and I've been doing the simple 2-ingredient bread for a very long time. Just egg whites and dried egg whites. If you're like, I can't get dry or egg white powder, it's just dried egg whites, people. You can make it yourself. So I just use that, and now I do add about maybe 1/2 teaspoon of salt into my bread, okay? But the Wonder Bread has allulose in it. You cannot substitute erythritol for allulose. Allulose caramelizes, so it gets that nice brown outside. It makes the crust softer. Most people like that a little bit better. You could add, what is it called? Nutritional yeast to give it a cheesy flavor. Now we're getting to like a lot of people do their own variations, and some of the things that they add to it, especially do not add fibers to it, like I don't know, psyllium husks or that type of stuff to the bread, because yes, you might end up with a chewier bread, but then you're like kind of ruining the whole greatness of it being basically pure protein. Now you're adding carbohydrates to it, and it's not going to be as healthy or helpful when it comes to your weight loss journey. So those are my tips. It tastes really good. I love it when you tag me on Instagram or Facebook that you've made it and you enjoy it. It makes the best French toast. So what do you want to tell people?
Cook with your kids.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
If you want to change your life like I've changed mine with food, I would be honored to help you. Many of you don't know that I was twice my size. I had acid reflux. I had PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. I had depression. I had IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. And food changed my life. And not only did that happen, I get to eat good food, right? Good food. So if you want to eat good food, I have perfected meal plans made by me and personal help with supplements or modifications if you have Hashimoto's, if you have Graves, if you have IBS, if you have PCOS, contact me. I would be honored to help you. You can go to keto-adapted.com and find a lot of different options there for personalized help, or message me by commenting below on this YouTube video, or you can check me out at mariamindbodyhealth.com. Mahalo.
Sharing is caring. Share this video with your friends.